if I'm honest. And I think we should focus our attention towards the Tank fight. I think that's the biggest fight in American boxing.
Not one day seen Shakur against Tank.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, you and Canelo Alvarez were not on the same page last year. Now you
made a mistake. He's a good young fighter, hungry fighter, but I hope he still take the fight. I mean, I'm kind of worried because he's not here. I was kind of excited to see him.
Do you have a message for him? Because I'm sure
that leaves Shakur with a quick decision to make over finding a suitable replacement. He cannot afford to choose a fighter who is not well known, since a victory will not go down in an impressive fashion. It also prevents him from testing his skills against a highly skilled opponent. But if he chooses someone who is more than a capable match, there is a danger that Shakur has not had enough preparation. That is a fine balance. This is particularly crucial, since Shakur is trying to secure the biggest fights. He has heavily been linked with a fight against Von Davis in what would be a potential unification. Tank boxes Lamont Roach on March 1st as he defends his WBA lightweight title. Davis has already said that he will retire this year. His aim is to fight 3 more times, meaning he will want to secure the most lucrative bout.
Fighters and like I said, Saturday first, and then we'll go from there.
One on that, on the Tank fight, are you confident that one can be delivered? Because I know Tank's had...
Fight against Shakur is certainly up there, even if Stevenson does not have a boxing style that resonates with the crossover fan base. Eddie Hearn was confident that he could make this fight, provided that all parties have realistic expectations, but that all depends on Shakur coming through his next fight, as there is uncertainty over who he will now face. If everyone is sensible, what other fights are out there for Tank? Von Davis has got a decent fight next, but he's Lamont Roach. Tank will want to be in big fights, they want to make big money. And I think the biggest fight out there for him is Shakur Stevenson, and vice versa. Hearn said the 27-year-old is seeking a clash with Davis himself, but must first find another opponent for his World Boxing Council lightweight championship defense in Riyadh on Saturday, on the undercard of the rematch between BBV and Dimitri Bivol.
So Turki Alalshikh, shall we say, are you confident it can be delivered, Tank versus Shakur?
Everyone's sensible. I mean, what other fights are there out for Tank? He's fighting.
30 said he would retire from boxing at the end of the year, but Stevenson is convinced that a long-awaited unification clash between the pair will take place. It's going to happen. The New York man added. Tank said that I was on his list, so hopefully he stands on his words and makes the fight happen, with a match set against Lamont Roach on March 1st at the legendary Barclays Center, New York. The prospect of Tank's return became more real, while fans eagerly await his next move. After the Roach fight, there are several fighters lined up to take a shot at the undefeated champion.
He's a super featherweight, but Tank will want to be in big fights. He'll want to make big money, and I think the biggest fight out there for him.
The head of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority wants to bring Tank Davis into their fold, so they make some of the biggest fights in boxing. Awaiting the Baltimore native recently, ESPN's Mike Copinger sat down with Turki for an exclusive interview. The Ring magazine later shared the clip on their Instagram account with the caption, "Turki Alalshikh speaks on potentially working with Tank Davis." In the interview, Alec expressed his hope of organizing a future showdown between Davis and Shakur Stevenson. "I hope one day to see Shakur against Tank, His Excellency," stated. This was shocking from Mike Copinger, given Alalshikh's strange relationship with Davis. Remember the Ring Magazine Awards event in London last month, and how Von Davis went on a tirade online about not getting invited.
Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson. I want him, and I send the message now from you to haney.
History already in place. Turki Alalshikh extending an invitation for Tank was a bit unexpected, hence Copinger questioned, "So yeah, you and Canelo Alvarez were not on the same page last year, so you are giving an invitation to Gervonta?" To this, Alalshikh responded, "I don't take anything as personal. I am a professional. I don't need to like you to talk with you." Once again, a surprise. Copinger asked, "But you appreciate Gant Davis's talents, it seems," and the owner of the Ring magazine calmly said, "Gervontadavis, Shakur Stevenson, I want him, and I said message now from you to Hyan, let's do. He is a great fighter, of course, no doubt about this, but we need to see him in big fights more and more." The Saudi royal clearly seems to keep his personal feelings away for the good of the sport, but he does not shy away in pointing out what has been voiced enough about Davis. Just when will he go against someone who can truly challenge him, perhaps jump divisions, and invite a high-profile fight before his retirement? The biggest fight in the world just might give Tank's followers what they truly want to see: Davis utilizing his full potential, because with a 30 record, the big puncher from Baltimore is a great fighter. I don't need to like you to talk with you, but you appreciate Gervonta Davis's talent. It seems as a fighter, he's a great fighter, of course. Interestingly, Alec isn't the only one calling for a Davis-Stevenson clash. Boxing legend Mike Tyson has long voiced his support for the fight and has also chosen his favorite, while Gervonta has remained a hot topic in the boxing world. The upcoming fight between Shakur Stevenson and an opponent he will soon figure out on February 22nd has captured a great deal of attention. However, Stevenson isn't just looking to defend his World Boxing Council lightweight championship. His eyes are set on the bigger prize. Davis during the Ring Magazine Awards Gala in London, Shakur Stevenson had boldly referred to their potential fight as the biggest fight in the world. In a later interview with Devin from Queensberry Promotions, Stevenson, however, expressed frustration with Davis's mixed signals about fighting him. You'll be watching somewhere, don't get butterflies and pull out the fight. Floyd, I know it's a hard time, I know you're dealing with a lot, but I'll just show up. You've been tweeting about a beating on him, you've been tweeting about vintage, despite feeling that their potential bout is the biggest fight in boxing. Currently, Shakur questioned whether Davis truly wanted it. He confessed, I remember watching interviews where he says he's going to come get me, and I am on his list. And then he's like, what has Shakur done for boxing? Who is he? He seems very bipolar. Even a few months ago, while talking to Mace and Cameron Dials on their podcast, It Is What It Is, Mike Tyson explained that Davis's aggressive fighting style would be a perfect test for Stevenson and bring out the best in music. In the main FUC training camp, how is your sparring and everything preparing for such a sleep box of watch yoring? Wow, that's a good fight. I like to go with Tank. Everyone's going to go with Tank, but it would be a very interesting fight. Tank is just a monster right now, Tyson began when asked about the fight. However, he did not dismiss Shakur's skills. Either on the same podcast, he said Shakur takes a good shot. He's a specialist. That's why there are some fights that he doesn't look good in, because he's so superior. It's boring watching sometimes, but he knows what he's doing to bring out the best in Shakur. You got to pressure him like Tank, and we'll see a great fight. So now with His Excellency Turki Alalshikh pushing for the showdown and Mike Tyson throwing his weight behind it, it's clear that the world is waiting for Gervontadavis to step up and make his move. Mike, who will win out of Shakur? No, Gervontadavis. Yeah, I like to go with Tank. You know everyone's going to go with Tank. You know it would be a very interesting fight. Shakur takes a good shot, though he's a specialist. That's why some fights that he doesn't look good in, because he's so superior. The 22-year-old Schofield, considered a heavy underdog to 3-division titleist Stevenson in the last crescendo card at Kingdom Arena, was the lone boxer on the main portion of the card who skipped the festivities, leading to speculation about his health and weight heading into the biggest fight of his young career on Schofield's stage, believed to be run by his father and trainer Floyd Schofield. Snore, a since-deleted post released shortly before noon ET on Tuesday, read, "They poisoned my son," and claimed that a masseuse associated with Stevenson's team had wiped a cream on my son that was met swiftly by Stevenson's co-manager Josh Dubin. This fighter Schofield should get advice on the defamation laws in our country, Dubin told Boxing Scene on Tuesday. The main focus in training camp, hell's just firing, and everything need preparing for such a sleep box off Shakur, saying these things that slander Shakur does not come without legal consequences, saying that his food was poisoned will not go unrecognized. Schofield is being put on notice right now. People might think there's a kernel of truth in these lies regarding the poisoning by his father, when it seems to be a way for him to make an excuse. He's not going to fight. Dubin spoke minutes before the report of Schofield's withdrawal went live. We're not going to tolerate these lies, and either the Schofields or someone on their behalf needs to publicly apologize now. Dubin said officials in Saudi Arabia have not confirmed if a replacement fighter will be retained to fight Stevenson on the stacked card that also includes heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight title fights. You know most that I got. That's my music coach. You know everything. Schofield appeared in good spirits Monday while doing interviews with assembled media. In an interview with Fight Hub, he called Stevenson a diva and said that his 4-month-old son is more of a man than him. There was not an immediate response to calls and text messages left for representatives of Golden Boy Promotions, which promotes Schofield. Eddie Hearn, whose Matchroom Boxing company promotes Stevenson, had a less sinister hypothesis for why Schofield was absent: a mandatory weight check from the British Boxing Board of Control, which is overseeing the boxing action for this event. The early weight checks have caught other American fighters by surprise. All of a sudden, you have a fighter like Floyd Schofield who has to make a check weight tomorrow. He might want to train tonight. Hearn told IFL TV Very good quality. You feel like the more he really doesn't want to come to the grand arrivals going, hello everybody, he's getting ready for the weight check tomorrow. That's why I believe he's not here tonight. This wasn't the first time Schofield of Austin, Texas has missed a public event ahead of his challenge of fellow New Jersey native Stevenson. Schofield was not present for last month's press conference in London, leading Stevenson to suggest that Schofield would pull out of the fight. Obviously, you're the younger guy, the underdog. I mean, obviously most people expecting him to probably get the win. You think a lot of the pressures on Stevenson. Made no mention of Schofield's absence at the grand arrival as he talked up his own excitement about fighting for the first time outside of the US as a professional. I'm ready to show the world that I'm a superstar. Stevenson said, I think I'm one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. The world will know February 22nd. I'm ready to show the world that I'm a superstar. I think I'm one of the best fighters in the sport of boxing. The world will know on February 22nd. They can expect the best fighter to show out. That's what I'm going to do. Shakur said this experience. I'm ready to capture the moment. I'm focused. I put in a great training camp, and it's my time. Last year was a tough year for you. Just one fight at the hand in this is another hurdle that Shakur must overcome as his matchroom boxing debut has suffered several setbacks. He was initially meant to fight Joe Cordina last year, but Shakur suffered a hand injury in sparring, so the fight could not go ahead. He subsequently underwent surgery to fight his World Boxing Council mandatory William Zappa, but the Mexican pulled out after suffering from his own hand injury. Schofield was given the opportunity to secure his first world title as he